Women communicate desire through silence more than words ever could. What they crave most is what they'll never ask for directly. The things she'll never ask for are the things she craves most, and the men who understand this control everything. In 1957, psychologist Leon Festinger published research on cognitive dissonance, the gap between what people say they want and what they actually desire. Women tell you one thing with their words, while their nervous system screams something completely different. This isn't about tricks. It's about understanding the architecture of female desire. Most men spend their entire lives playing checkers, while women operate in dimensions they never learned to see. They listen to what she says, they ignore what she does, and they wonder why the passion died 6 months in, why she seems distant, why the chemistry that felt electric now feels like a job interview. Here's what they don't teach you. Female desire doesn't operate on logic. It operates on something older, something deeper, something that predates language itself. Women grew up in a world that punished them for wanting too much, for asking too directly, for appearing too eager. So they learned to speak in code, to communicate through behavior, through tension, through what they don't say. If you can't read that silent language, you're living life one beat behind what's actually happening. And this matters more than most men realize. Because your ability to interpret unspoken signals shapes the entire direction of your intimate life. Not your income, not your looks, not your memorized lines or clever routines. What truly decides whether you're chosen or merely tolerated is your ability to sense what she needs before she ever feels the urge to put it into words. That is the difference between being desired and being settled for. Behavioral researchers who study attraction have discovered something uncomfortable but undeniable. Female desire doesn't grow in comfort alone. It sharpens in the presence of controlled uncertainty. Not chaos, not instability, but a calibrated unpredictability that activates anticipation. The same neurological systems that fire at the beginning of attraction, dopamine, heightened focus, emotional alertness, don't respond to safety and routine. They respond to tension, to contrast, to a man who knows when to step forward and when to pause, when to give her exactly what she wants and when to let her sit with the wanting. Brain imaging research has repeatedly shown that when women feel genuine attraction, the areas activated aren't associated with affection or familiarity. They're linked to craving, to pursuit, to desire itself. This isn't a defect in female psychology, it's a design feature, one that modern dating culture tries to smooth over, sanitize, and pretend doesn't exist. But biology doesn't respond to social scripts, it responds to what actually works. So let's go deeper into the behaviors women respond to but rarely explain. Not because they're manipulative, but because explaining them removes their effect. Some truths lose their power the moment they're spoken. These are 6 of them. 6 behaviors that quietly trigger something primal in her nervous system. 6 things she wants you to embody but will never directly request. Once you recognize them, you won't be able to unsee them. First, she wants to feel slightly out of control but never unsafe. There's a crucial difference. Most men misunderstand leadership as force. They think dominance means volume, pressure, or intimidation. But real authority is calm. It's unhurried. It's the way you move through space without asking permission. The way you guide her through a crowded place with a light touch. The way decisions happen around you without debate. Women spend most of their lives managing, deciding, organizing, adjusting. When she's with you, she doesn't want another discussion disguised as intimacy. She wants relief. She wants to feel like she can let go for a while, that you're grounded enough to carry the moment. And she cannot ask for this, because the moment she has to instruct you to lead, you're no longer leading, you're complying, and compliance kills polarity. Second, she wants you to stop asking for permission at every turn. Endless checking in drains desire faster than almost anything else. Is this okay? Should I? Do you want me to? Each question turns attraction into negotiation. Intimacy isn't a legal document. It's a felt experience. This doesn't mean recklessness. It means awareness, confidence, presence. Studies on fantasy and desire consistently show that many women are drawn to scenarios where they don't carry the weight of decision-making. Not because they want harm, but because intensity removes self-judgment. Consent is essential, but constant verbal validation at every micro-moment erodes tension. When you learn to read her breath, her posture, her pauses, you stop needing a script. And when you move with calibrated boldness, the dynamic shifts. She stops feeling like your guide. She starts feeling like your woman. Third, she wants you to hold your ground when she tests you. Tests aren't attacks, they're assessments. She's unconsciously asking, will he disappear under pressure? Will he abandon himself to keep me comfortable? Most men fail instantly. She pushes, he apologizes. She pulls back, he chases. Respect quietly evaporates, not logically, but neurologically. Research on relationship stability shows that it's not the absence of conflict that predicts success. It's the ability to stay rooted during it. When you stay calm, present, unreactive, you communicate something deeper than reassurance ever could. You show her you're solid, and solidity feels like safety. Fourth, she wants mystery to remain alive. Total transparency kills desire. When everything about you is exposed too early, every insecurity, every wound, every thought, there's no space left for curiosity. Desire needs distance. It needs room to breathe. Intimacy and attraction aren't the same thing. The couples who maintain erotic energy are the ones who preserve individuality, not secrecy, but separateness. You don't need to narrate your inner world constantly. You need a life, a mind, a direction that doesn't orbit her approval. Sometimes when she asks what you're thinking, nothing is the most attractive answer. Not because you're hiding, but because some things are yours. That distance keeps her leaning in. Fifth, she wants you committed to something beyond her. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's essential. Women don't want to be your entire universe. They want to be part of a universe that's expanding. Ambition, purpose, direction, these signal competence. When you drop everything for her, you shrink. When you prioritize your mission, she feels it. Respect grows, and respect fuels attraction. Men who are always available feel disposable. Men who are moving towards something feel valuable. When you say no because your path matters, she doesn't feel rejected. She feels challenged, and suddenly she's investing. Sixth, she wants you to end the interaction first. Lingering kills tension. Stretching moments past their peak drains energy. Psychology shows that people remember experiences by how they end. Leave while it's still good, and she remembers the intensity. Stay too long and she remembers the neediness. The one who controls separation holds the power, not through games but through fullness. When you leave because your life is calling you forward, she feels it, and absence becomes the space where desire grows. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women don't want you to ask what they want. They want you to understand. Attraction can't be negotiated. It can't be reasoned into existence. It responds only to embodiment. Most men play it safe. They soften themselves. They aim to be unoffensive, and in doing so, they become forgettable. Desire doesn't come from comfort. It comes from polarity, from leadership, from certainty without arrogance. She'll never explain this to you, she can't. But now you see it, and once you hear this frequency, you can start tuning into it or ignore it and stay exactly where you are. The choice has always been yours.